Arc Raiders is set to release here in just around a month, and there's a ton of details we have to go over leading up to its launch. That includes things like a new test, some exclusive rewards. We'll go over the pre-order editions and cover everything with that there. I'll include some tips for that and how to get a head start for launch. We'll even cover some additional teasers that they unveiled, as well as a whole bunch more. What's up, World Utopia here, back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things Arc Raiders. First up here, if you haven't seen, Arc Raiders is doing another test, and they're calling this one the Server Slam. They have a tweet here saying, no codes, no worries, everyone's welcome to the party. They mentioned it's going to be live on all platforms, which does actually include both Steam and Epic Games Client, as well as the console platforms, which yes are PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X. They do mention this is the last chance to take on Arc before launch. They did actually drop some additional info that even wasn't on the Discord, but on their website. So to top it off, they do have an opening statement here saying that they want to kick off with a stress testing servers during the event to get everything running smoothly before it kicks off on October 30th. They do mention that you're going to experience elements of progression crafting in completing sets of quests to provide you with a little taste of Arc Raiders. However, there's going to be some surprises that they do save for the full launch. A lot of games that do server slams, typically there is a level cap and even a quest cap. So more than likely there's probably a hard cap in place for that, and we're not going to see everything the game entails until launch comes around. There is some additional details and some additional things that do differ from the last and previous tech test. We'll go over that in a bit. There's actually a way to get a head start here for both the launch as well as the server slam. So first off here, they do mention that you can create a new Embark ID, or that you can link an existing one ahead of time in the Embark portal. So if you haven't already, you can link your Steam account, Epic Games, your Xbox account, or if you have to, make an Embark portal account. This is going to be needed and is needed in basically nearly all cross-play games. They always have some sort of secondary account so they can link everything together and cross-save that. Nothing different here. They're going to be using the Embark portal. So if you haven't already, you need to create an Embark ID. You should do that now so you're ready to go for the server slam and you don't deal with the long queue times. If you have an existing one and you plan to play on either Xbox or the Epic Games client different from Steam, then you more than likely are going to want to link your stuff to the Embark portal as well. They also do mention that you'll need to confirm the email, which isn't required to play necessarily, confirming your email address. However, in order to claim the exclusive Server Slam backpack reward at launch, you will have had to confirm your email. So you can sign up with the Embark portal with any email, and you don't necessarily need to confirm it to play, but if you do want this exclusive reward that you can earn for playing, then you will need to have done so. Now the cool thing about this, they do say that during the Server Slam, they're going to be pulling a double duty, as this actually does coincide with TwitchCon 2025, where you actually can catch the team on the show floor at the San Diego Convention Center, and they'll be there from October 7th to the 19th, where you actually can play the game in the booth. They do have some swag and merch there while the supplies last, so if you want some very exclusive merch there, that is your chance to get it. They're also going to be conducting a panel that you can attend in person or even watch online. I will, of course, cover all the details from that, so if you do miss it, or if you can't make it in person, don't worry, I'll have all those details there for you. Last up here, they do mention that the pre-orders are now live, where you can secure your copy of the game. They only have two editions here, the Standard and the Deluxe Edition. There currently is no Collector's Edition or anything like that. I'll run through them very quickly, as there is some discrepancies here with that. The first notable one is the Standard Edition is $40 US, so they have finally confirmed that price at $40. And the Deluxe Edition is $60, so essentially the same as a normal price game. Now there is some notable mentions here and things that might be a little bit confusing from the Standard Edition to the Deluxe Edition, as there are things in the pre-purchase bonus with both tiers. So first up here, with the Standard Edition, of course, you do get the base game, but there is two additional things you receive here. That is the Hatchling Backpack, as well as the Golden Rubber Ducky Backpack Charm. It seems like they don't showcase either of these in any of the promotional work, so unfortunately I don't have any imagery here for that. But again, those must be pre-purchased for those rewards. So if you do buy the base game after it's already launched, typically there is a bit of leeway there, but if you end up buying the game a little bit later, you more than likely won't get the pre-purchase bonus. Now, the same thing does apply to the Deluxe Edition. Of course, you get the base of the game, and here you actually get 5 pre-purchase bonuses. So of course you get the 2 from the standard edition, but 3 additional ones here. The first one is the G-Suit Legendary outfit, which they actually do showcase off here. It also has some color variants with it. You do as well get a Salvager backpack and a Spaceship Souvenir backpack attachment. Again, those are showcased here in the promo work. So we do see the G-Suit Legendary outfit as well as one other color variant. However, it does say color variants, so we more than likely will get more than that. And as well as the backpack, we see a little bit of it here, and that backpack Spaceship Souvenir. Again, you can see a tiny bit of it on the second player model here to the left. Now here's what comes with the Deluxe Edition, even if you don't pre-purchase. The first one here is the Valente Legendary outfit. That comes with a Pathfinder backpack and a blanket roll backpack attachment. Again, we can see the Legendary outfit here, the Valente, with the color variants. It does just so too, but more than likely there will be more, at least I assume so. But these are the only 2 that they do showcase. They also do showcase the backpack Pathfinder here, the blanket roll backpack attachment you can see on the lower half. There is 2 more things in this promo work that are in the Deluxe Edition as well, which is that lip scar face cosmetic and the emote finger gun rapid fire. Of course, you can't really see the emote, it is just an image, but a little bit of what it's going to look like. There is 2 more items here inside the Deluxe Edition. The first one is, yes, a Scrappy skin, which is a cowboy skin. Gives him a bit of flair too with the colors, and a good old cowboy hat, so definitely nice there for Scrappy. And you also get 2,400 Raider coins, which is pretty much $20 worth of currency. So technically, you could say in some way, shape, or form, you're getting the rest of the stuff for free, as well as $20 of in-game currency. So not a bad deal there overall, with everything included, all the cosmetics, and that in-game currency. If you were to otherwise buy that, you just get some extra goodies. Now there is one last thing here I will bring up with the additions. I had some people in my DMs about this, and this does apply to certain games, but it does seem like, unfortunately, this game does not have regional pricing. A lot of games do have regional pricing, especially within Steam. Unfortunately, Arc Raiders seems to not have any regional pricing at all. Now, it does look like this also applies to the console platforms, as there is no regional pricing there either. So unfortunately, it will cost quite a bit in some of these other locations. I will make 2 notes there. One, don't expect it to ever happen with PlayStation or Xbox, as they are not common, or at least it's not common for developers to do regional pricing there. So the console platforms typically never do regional pricing, but it was fairly common on Steam in the PC platform to have regional pricing. However, the trend has been since 2024 to 2025 that a lot of studios have actually tightened up on regional pricing due to volatility, arbitrage, and even rising budgets. So it does seem like this is more than likely going to be the case with a lot more AAA games in the future. It is super unfortunate. Maybe they have some sort of remedy in the future. Hopefully they maybe at least address it somewhat. But yeah, I don't know if I would expect any regional pricing anytime soon. Given the current economic standards and a lot of the standards with the new AAA titles, it seems like less and less studios are actually utilizing it. Moving on here, as I did mention, we had some leaks a while back, but these actually got officiated when we did get a teaser posted to the Arc Raiders YouTube channel. And we can actually see that featured here in the Arc Raiders soundscapes. For this brief moment here at the very end of this trailer, they actually did showcase off, yes, a new map. This is the 4th map coming to Arc Raiders. It has been codenamed in Datamine as Blue Gate, or at least that's what it's been referenced in the files. Again, these are on some official articles as well talking about this. But yes, it looks like we are getting a brand new map. If this one will be in the Server Slam, no idea. That might be what they're holding back. But yes, essentially pretty much confirmed here, we are getting a 4th map. There are a few other things like code names and experimental data that people have found, especially pertaining to the bosses and the boss class arcs. They've had some code names like Spices, and even multi-phase encounters that are hinted at, more than likely with future events and modes. So everybody was fighting the Queen earlier. Yes, there's probably going to be more of that, and even more weekly modes and events there, which might even have multi-phases there. There was also some stuff like dynamic weather suit, fog, firestorms, sandstorms were listed in data strings. There's been a ton of weather effects that have been talked about and even rumored about, as well as just found in general. So it does seem like we might be getting some more dynamic weather. Pretty cool there, can't wait to see some of those surprises. There is one other mention here that I wanted to bring up. This one actually does pertain to the maps. It looks like players are already making GUI maps online. Currently, this one only has the Dam Battlegrounds, and it does showcase here the Spaceport and Buried City. Of course, they don't have that other map that we don't know the name of just yet, but I'm sure that will be here as well. Pretty nice and intuitive map so far, and actually runs fairly well. So if you want to check that one out, I will leave it linked below in the description. Overall, that's about covered for today's video. If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Until the next one. Deuces.